how is it going? So, how did I get my first job? So, to explain that, we have to go back in time a little bit. It was January, and I decided that I wanted to become a translator. So, I started joining groups, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, mainly WhatsApp groups. And what happened is I started reading those messages and I discovered about pros. Actually, I discovered about kudos point at pros. So I decided to try and answer some questions and get kudos points. So I would be, how can I say, appearing more. My profile would be appearing more. But that didn't happen at all because none of my answers got selected. Indeed, I only answered 5 questions and I guess they weren't right, my answers. But someone found me while I was answering those questions. It was actually a Brazilian guy who is now my friend. And he saw my answers there and he decided to look for my profile and see who I am. And he basically saw my profile where I talked about anime in a translators platform that I like anime and manga. And I want to translate games or whatever that was. I hope I already changed it. But he found me there and he searched for my LinkedIn account and he connected with me. He was my first connection ever I made on LinkedIn. And yeah, we're still friends to this day. And on that very first day he had sent me a connection request. He started giving me resources so that I could learn more about translation. And he started giving me links to YouTube videos, YouTube channels. By the way, I met Freelance Translator tips through that friend of mine I met on LinkedIn. And yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here recording this video. But yeah, he gave me links to some great courses, and one of that courses was Vida de Tradutor. It's a Brazilian course, a really great course. And I entered that course, I paid for that course, and I entered a students group. And on that students group, I presented myself. I said something like, hey, I'm a beginner translator and I'm just starting out, trying to get my first opportunity, and thank you all for whatever. And someone actually sent me a direct message on, it was a Telegram group, sent me a DM, and he asked, hey, what areas of translation do you want to work with? And I said, well, I'd like to work with games, but since I'm just starting out, I'm pretty much trying everything that I can. And he said, well, that's great to know because I do work with games and sometimes how can I say that in English? I give jobs to beginners so they can learn. And yeah, it was something like that. And I was like, okay, that's great. I'm in. And next week he sent my first job. So it was basically through networking. I started joining groups at WhatsApp, Facebook groups. I started appearing a little bit on Pros. Someone found me there on Pros. And then it all opened a whole new world to meeting new people. For example, now I'm making new connections every day on LinkedIn because yeah, that's the best thing you could ever do. If you don't have a background, let's say if you don't have a degree or a lot of years experience in translation, I think it's a good idea to try to get to know people that do have that experience. So yeah, you can maybe try and go talk with them so you're gonna have their view on what you should do or something like that, or even make friends on this profession. I'd say it's a good idea. And so far I've received 2 jobs from that person from that course. But I don't want to stop there. I want to get my jobs through agencies, through direct clients, of course. So I'll be receiving more, and I'll be able to share my works, like create a portfolio of what I did and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was basically like that how I got my first job.